So, it's another day. It's kind of cold today. It's been raining a lot and it's not very nice out here. So, I'm going to try to finish this as quick as I can so I can get back inside because it's not very nice. Anyway, what am I doing today? Well, I'm kind of putting together a bunch of the writings into a larger package. But that's going to take a while, and I really have to redo big parts of it. The other thing is I'm working on this, Philosophy of Science. It's just selected readings from, Loudon, Lipton, Van Frassen, Sklar. Whenever I read Lawrence Sklar, I always feel like I don't get very much from him. I feel like I just read the page and it just kind of goes past my head. But yeah, this is good stuff here about realism. I really need to study more scientific realism. I think that needs to be like philosophy of science needs to be a pretty big pillar of my thinking. But then I've been wondering what's it for? Because I don't really have a career path. I don't have a way to really go find a job. The job market right now is really, really not very good anyway, so I don't know if a degree would even help. I have an education, but as far as anybody else can tell, it's not there because they just rely upon the signal pointer. And that's something that's really funny. People don't really do thinking themselves. What they do is they rely upon something else to do the thinking for them. So, like, for example, your manager won't go out and look at the project himself to figure out if it's done. All the manager does is looks at a piece of paper that was delivered to him by some worker, and he just checks it off. Or looks to see if it's checked off, and it is line number 1 checked off. Okay, it's checked off, so it must be good. But the problem is that the signal pointer is not the thing in itself. And like what I'm seeing here is that there's a discrepancy between the two. The signal pointer is not the thing itself and can't tell you about the thing itself. You're just assuming that it is. And normally, assumptions in science probably wouldn't be such a big deal. But then the scientists also claim that what they're doing is universally true and empirically verifiable. How do you empirically verify something when you don't go and check it yourself? If you are a manager or you're working some job where you don't see the thing itself and are only receiving reports about the thing, then that is not empirical verification. It's not. You would have to go down and observe the situation yourself to achieve some empirical result. I think that people rely on induction a lot more than they claim to. And they do it while also claiming that what they're doing is empirical. Or in other words, because see, for a lot of people, empiricism just means true. It just means known. It's known in some way, thereby making it true. So what they do is they use the empirical reputation for being known, and then they just slide whatever inductive reasoning they want under that title and then just claim it's good. And that's exactly what's happening with my situation. I have a great education, but I went to the schools, but I didn't continue going because I realized it was a bunch of BS. I could show the assignment that I realized one day I received an assignment and I realized that it was just BS, so I stopped going. But the thing is, because I didn't go, I never received my diploma. I don't have any paperwork showing that I actually achieved the education that I claim to have. But that shouldn't matter, because if you actually go and check, like if the manager or a hiring manager or something was to actually interview me and figure out if I was educated or not, they would see it. But they don't do that. They just look for the signal pointer, and if there's an absence of a signal pointer, they take that as evidence, which is the same thing the courts do, but I'll leave that for another time. Anyway, I'm kind of worried about my career, and other scientists are doing the same thing. Or then you get people who they apparently have an education, but then when you talk to them, what did they go to school for? Something stupid. But the problem is that stupid education is better on paper than the non-education that I have on paper. It's just better because they went to Purdue or wherever the fuck, Drexel, wherever the fuck. And what it does is it makes people discriminate against me. They look at me, they look for the signal pointer, they don't see it, and then they think, well, this person's stupid. And then they don't give me a job. And it's like, I don't want to go to the fucking schools where they'll do the same exact thing they did to me 8 years ago. And it makes me wonder, why am I even doing this fucking work? Why do I even sit here doing the fucking work if it's not appreciated? If the people who are supposedly my peers don't give a fuck. They just allow it to happen. Allow somebody of their peerage to just not participate in the social club of science because dude, you didn't go to school. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. Makes me not even want to bother. Why would I want to be around people who don't care for me or don't appreciate what it is that I do? I don't know. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It makes me feel like I kind of don't even want to bother. And yeah, I know my science is really just for me. But that's kind of boring and lonely. But if, other people don't want me either, then... And it's not good enough to say, well, Alex, you need to go and... If they really wanted me, they would just reach out. Whoever wants me can just reach out and say, hi, Alex, we are really interested in what it is that you do. We would like you to come work for us or come study with us or do whatever. But it doesn't happen because they don't care. People can say whatever they like. They're so concerned about such and such and whatever, but if they don't ever actually do something about it, it doesn't convince me that they actually do care. They're just virtue signaling. And we just got done with a decade of fucking virtue signaling. And this isn't virtue signaling. That's not virtue signaling. That's real fucking work. It's really hard, real fucking work, and it's not virtue signaling. So I guess that's why I don't go to school, is because they're for virtue signalers, and I'm not virtue signaling. It's just fucking annoying. It's annoying to do all this fucking work and to realize it's for nothing because other people just don't care. Like, fine, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go back inside because it's cold out here. Do some more of Loudon's shit.